YouTube, Damo_23 here, and welcome back to the Youth Challenge with 1860 Munich. In today's video, we're going to recap an amazing result that did happen so far in the season. We're also going to go through and have a look at the start of the year. And of course, it's been a massive scouting sesh. We have some players to talk about because there's been transfers in on the 1st of July. We've had transfers come in later. We still have transfers coming in here in January and August. And we also have to talk about why this save may be a bit more difficult than what we first thought. If you are enjoying the content, give it a like, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and as always, links are down below to come follow me live on Twitch. Yesterday was a 4.5 hour stream of mainly scouting. If that's your jam, go and click the link below, give it a follow, helps support the channel massively. This episode's a banger, and I'll see you guys in post-com demo in just a second. Welcome in YouTube to the post-com with Damo. We're not going to go in order here today because this result we're about to talk about is just way too massive for me to go what happened in the first, the transfers coming in, and then talk about results. This result is absolutely incredible, and we could not believe it on stream yesterday. We ended the stream there and then. So if you want to watch the full game in its entirety, go to the VOD 2.5 hours in because we went to play COD afterwards because this is where this game happened. Anyhow, we have had the start of the league. We're just going to recap that quickly. We did get done on the opening day. We've only played one game. We lost 3-0 to Heinemann, who are meant to finish 10th. If you go to our season preview, we're meant to come dead last. We have probably the worst squad. They're now meant to finish 12th. Makes me feel better. The fact Schalke and Freiburg are here makes me very worried. But our squad, there's people you don't know there. We'll definitely talk about them in the future. But as you can see, we're not meant to do much this year. Can I just say the average age of the squad's down to 18? Loving that because that's really in line with what we're doing with the Youth Challenge. Anyhow, without further ado, first game of the season, there it is. We actually played quite well. Jeppe Hansen Jr. was our best player, even though he made a mistake for the first goal. If we play like that for most part of the season and we get some people that can finish, we'll be okay. Unfortunately, Wagner does not want to join me. He is just, Wagner, they let me take him on loan, but if it lets me go there to Maximilian, there we are. I go and make loan approaches for him, and then he rejects me. So I'm trying again because he's on the loan list. He still doesn't want to come to me. I'm hoping that we get him in fairly quick, or else his homegrown status will go away. But yeah, anyhow, let's get into this result. We got drawn in the DFB Pokal against Cologne. Bundesliga FC Koln. That is correct. You can tell from the result that we beat him 4-3 in an absolute titanic game. Highly recommend watching this. I am going to actually put the goals through because there's a couple of funny goals in this one, especially the own goal by Hector, which is our second goal, is pretty incredible. In this game, though, it came apparent that we probably lack quality going forward, but we're not that bad through the middle of the park. And some of the kids here probably have a very high ceiling, which is great. What we also saw, though, is that we probably do lack a lot of quality and that this year is going to be quite difficult, but we did beat Bundesliga Cologne 4-3 in the DFB Pokal. You will remember last season we played VfL Bochum, who are also a Bundesliga side, and we got beat 3-0 that day, and we weren't even on the same page as them. As you can see, we made it 1-0 for a Jeppe Hansen corner, something that we used to say. Can I just say, that's a great side volley cross by Horn. And then we're staying on this camera because you just don't understand how funny this goal was. I have YouTube shorts with Damo. This video is going to be downloaded and put as a YouTube short because, well, the ball's overkicked. As Vito is a signing we're going to go through, don't worry, in due course. And then it's just hit Hector in like his chest, chipped the keeper, and well, yeah. If we're scoring goals like that, we're winning games of football. So there you go. That made it 2-1 us, right on the stroke of half time. We couldn't believe it. Then they made it 2-2 with Duda to run through, and Engel tries his might, doesn't even get in the same postcode, and then we go score a couple before they make it really nervy, really late. But, we played well, and I do think the 4-2-4, as Vito should have that same by Horn, but great for him. The fact that we got a result here is massive. If we play like this, it's really good. Lorenz Nofrel, by the way, great touch. I don't want him starting for me. But if we don't play to this level, we're going to get absolutely found out in the league, I feel. And this season may be a little bit more difficult than we really thought because probably the lack of signing and what's happening with the signing. So we're going to run through that. We are going to go into post-com demo. As you can see here, we probably got dominated slightly, but we did win, so that doesn't bother me. Right? We're going to go through the 1st of July, people that joined on the 1st of July, and then I'm going to go through in a post-com way really quickly about why there might be issues in the save coming down the stretch, but issues that may not arise in the next few seasons. It's a really interesting concept, but we'll talk about that in a second. So we're going to actually go back in time from July 29th to July the 1st, where all the signings that we did early on all joined, where we recap those signings and we mention about who's joining later. And then post-com demo is going to come in, go through that with a little bit more detail and explain why there is a couple of things that may make this save a lot more difficult than we first originally thought. Welcome YouTube, episode 8, and of course we have got on the 1st of July all the new signings coming into the club. We've also had all the loanees leave, and this club is now solely based at the minute on players becoming homegrown at the club or are going to be homegrown, because we have released a lot of lads. If you have a look at the transfer history and the released players, if we go to released players, you can see a few big names have been released. You know, Robert played a few games for us, so did Mort's played a few games. Daniel Winkler, you know, was a young prospect but wanted to be an important player, so I let him go. But more importantly, probably David, our first choice keeper, has officially left. You know, 15 clean sheets, 7.0, probably deserved a contract but wasn't in the rules, so we let him go. We have, of course, made a lot of signings, and there is a lot of people coming in as well, ladies and gentlemen. Some of them coming in this season, some of them coming in 6 months, some of them coming in 2 years' time when they turn 18. We're just going to go through them and explain what is going on. As you can see here, a couple of lads have gone out, of course, that we've done, but we have tied up 5 signings. We are going to mention all of them, of course, as well. These are the 5 boys coming in as of right now. Starting off with Jeppe Hansen Jr., we have highlighted him a little bit. He's come on a free from Esbjerg. Just have a look at him. He is out of this world insane. He's currently a League 3 player with potential to improve a lot more. This guy, I did mention at the time, is going to be part of this squad massively. Get him into the Munich squad. Secondly, and more importantly, lads, I think this guy could play in the Bundesliga and beyond. Hopefully he joins like his father, who won the Champions League with me 20 seasons in at SFB. I would love for him to win it with me as well. Marvin's come in here at centre-back. He's apparently a regional player. As you can tell, a lot of these guys look good in terms of star ratings because we do not have the the massive amount of players that are of this level. So here he is. I think he could be a really good player as Marvin. In he comes at centre-back. He has got a partner in Quag coming in eventually, but he's here at Munich and looks fantastic. And really nice to get him back from on his loan. Some people join on a free. Some people. I don't know what's going on in Europe. Some lads from some divisions join straight away at 16. Some don't. James McIntosh is one of those guys that have joined at 16. The Canadian Koskovian we have picked up on a free from Victorian in Belgium. For whatever reason, that's allowed him to come at 16. We picked him up because they wanted no money. 0 transfer fee, 14 finishing, 15 determination, well-rounded. One of the kids that I've decided to go, to do, and I've gone down the route of, if they want no money and have 5-star potential, you may as well get him in and make him homegrown at the club. Let him sit 3 years in the 19s. If he develops, great, pull him in. If not, he's a homegrown player that we will sell on or release. And if he develops down the track at 19, 20, 21 to like 25, looks good later, he's homegrown. You can bring him back. So Jay McIntosh comes in. Maybe not one to feature at the minute, but not bad. Leon Anibaba is a guy that is unbelievable. He is going to be a very good fullback. You look at it, Leon. He's got the ability to be really good. He can bomb on, he can play on support, he's got good teamwork and vision and can tackle and is physically not bad. He also is not too bad defensively. We are going to work him straight away here on his defensive positioning because we need him to become a little bit better in the defensive areas. But Leon Anibaba comes from America and he's one of about 1 million players coming from America because guess what? In Germany, they treat America as European, and that's why you see so much American talent come through in Germany because they just set up a heap of German scouts in America, knowing that they don't count to their foreign limits or foreign rules, which is barely any anyway. So yeah, look, American counts as a European nation. I have just gone and rated them. Max Engel, lucky last, is going to be your new number 1 here as well. He's a decent third Liga player, can actually grow into a decent Bundesliga 2 player, considering that the goal is just to stay up this season and stay up for the foreseeable future. Max Engel was in. If you have a look at the season preview, We are predicted to come dead last. Our squad is meant to be Engel, Alibaba, our youngster, Marvin, Stefan, Yepi, Street, Choychek. No strikers because I'm telling you right now, Wagner. This is the ninth time I've tried to loan him in. The game says he's interested. As in like the press. The press go, oh, he's extremely interested in a move and apparently telling his representatives to accept. Right? I'm interested. Stuttgart letting me have him for nothing. Guess what? He keeps telling me no. Because I think in his head, he perceives that he's better than the league. But now that I'm officially in the second Bundesliga and the season's rolled over, hopefully he joins because we need a striker as well. Now, look, that's not all the business we've done, by the way. There is a lot of business there. As you can see, my team is absolutely decimated by people here, but it is what it is, and that doesn't bother me. We are now going to go and have a look at the transfers coming on the in still to come. There is, technically speaking, there could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 signings that we could talk about here. I'm just going to talk about all the ones in green that have officially coming in. Mark Williams is coming in 6 months, or Mark Wills. He is fantastically well-rounded, the American. Yet again, counts as European. You're going to see, especially at this stage, you're going to see a lot of Americans come in. Now, until we get into the top flight or a lot of money where I can then get a package that lets me to scout the world, I have to go into the nations where we can get people on a free or we can get people on the cheap. America is one of them because of the amateur contract system. It's great, right, for a challenge like this. There will become a point where I can just go, all right, who's in the under-19s in Albania, Kosovo, Germany, Denmark, right? And all those, all the under-23s and whoever's 16 to 18, we can just scout because they're the best regions, right? Because I've got that pulling power, I've got the money, I can do that. We're not like that at the minute. We're in the second division. We need to search for gems. I've spent 4.5 hours of scouting. I've been live since the 1st of June, and it's the 1st of July. I've been live for a month, and it's taken me 4.5 hours on Twitch. If you're interested in that, links down below. Come watch the VOD. But means a lot of these cheaper guys are coming in because they're the level we have to go and attack. That's how we're going to build this club. Helps me turn over profit. Helps me get them homegrown. And, of course, it helps me get as much money into the club that when we do eventually get to the top flight, that's 5 years, 8 years down the track, who knows, could be next season because we're just worldy at this game. Then yeah, anyway, Mark Wills, fantastic, well-rounded. He doesn't look like special, but this guy playing first-team football, unbelievable. At this level, would be one of my better right-backs. He is going to be starting for me come the new year, next year. So 6 months he joins. Stefan's another one, in 6 months' time. Absolutely fantastic, apparently got no scouts available on him. I've had these guys as well on for trial before joining him in because they let me trial them. Both of them 4.5-star players. Just a promising centre-back. And anytime you see promising centre-back, they could have PA of like 170. So, and that would be great for the Bundesliga. Has got headering ability and tackling ability, decent marking ability, and can pass a ball. He's also got a not bad first touch, and the vision needs some work, but that's fine. This guy mentally looks fantastic and physically can develop. At 17 years of age, joining in 6 months because that's when they turn 18, because you have to wait till they turn 18 in America, we going to bring him in and play him straight off the bat. It does mean they're in this precarious position where our team's probably a little bit decimated at the minute, and we may be very weak for the first 6 months in the Bundesliga 2, but we would have a very good team in 6 months' time in the Bundesliga 2 that I think would keep us up and keep us mid-table, and mid-table for a long time. Stefan, I think, is going to be one of the best signings. There we are. Pablo Valdez, he's joining in 2 years' time. Right back that can play centre back at 6'1". What I love about him, work rate, teamwork, physicals at 16. He's going to be a physical monster at 16. Got a lot of 10s as well, a lot of 8s and 9s and 10s in his mentals. Just expect to see this lad develop. 3-star, 5-star potential. That's what he was when we had him on trial. So there we are. Then Nico joins in 6 months as well. Is a midfielder. Nico for me is a guy that has this sort of scout report, but wanted on a free. Anyone that wants to come in for $0, perfect. Nico, we offered the Austrian club $0. I said, yep, not a problem. Coming in on a free, he's going to sit in the 19s. I want to have the best under 19s in Germany. I want my 19s to literally be the breeding ground for the first team. I want to sign any 16-year-old that has 5-star potential on $0 into the club, come play under 19s football, play there for 3 years. If you develop, great, first team. If not, bang, you're homegrown, great. I'm going to loan you out / sell you. And then, if you do develop out another club, I'll bring you back. That's the goal. And I think Nico's fantastic. Adam De Freitas Hansen is just American. He's coming from the Chelsea Academy that is set up in Baltimore. So the Baltimore Moore FC as Chelsea's feeder team in Germany, right? Have a look at him at 16. Luckily for me, he actually joins at the start of next year. So we got a year without a winger. I'm not going to go sign a first choice winger because have a look at this boy. 15 pace, 14 acceleration, physically unbelievable at 16. 13 determination, 9s, 10s, everywhere across the board in the mentals. Also got a great first touch, can dribble, 10 crossing, 10 technique. All those 10s are going to get the 15. This guy could be as good as Jeppe Hansen Jr. The Freitas could be a world-class winger. And that's not being exaggerated. This guy has the makings of a world-class right winger. He's going to come in as a star player. He's already 4-star, already a Bundesliga 2 player according to the game. And I think we're going to bring him in. And in a year's time, we're still in Bundesliga 2. Going to be fantastic. And if we do get relegated and keep the job, this guy will be the best player in the third Liga and get us straight back in the Bundesliga 2. We then got Gerardo Ramirez, and, well, this guy here has still got a scout report because he didn't want to come on a trial, but we had him scouted. When you get a 16-year-old with that scout report, you bring him in. He wants to be an important player, which is a bit annoying because I have another midfielder that's joining in 6 months that's fantastic. We have Jeppe Hansen Jr. The only thing I will say is that he can play fullback as a wing-back, and there's definitely part of me that may get him into play right-back. I do think in his contract he wanted to play box-to-box, and if that's the case, he's probably going to start on the bench and then move into the box-to-box over Jeppe a lot of the time. Or, you know, we'll figure out something anyway. When a guy's that good, he's 16, he's got good mentals, well-rounded physicals, he joins in 2 years' time, you know, the first of the first 2024, so what, a year and a half's time, he's going to be really good. I think he's the sort of guy that, you know, playing a couple more years in America is actually really good for him and could develop, and expect to see him in a couple of years' time. Francesco's Javier Monero is another one in the same boat. He just looks good, 16 years of age, good pace and good acceleration, natural flair, can cross, can dribble, got good technique. If he was here, he would start for me at left wing. He's not, but in 2 years' time, expect to see him a little bit more developed, and he also had 5-star potential, but was a 3-star winger. Expect him in 2 years' time to be even better. Johnny De Cutler, yet again, he joins at the start of next season because he's a bit of an earlier 16-year-old like De Freitas is. Got to be the backup to De Freitas. One and only will be a breakthrough prospect, 16 determination, good pace and physicals. This is good. You know, Adam De Freitas and then Johnny De Kloot, both two Americans that are going to be on the right-hand side. The Americans are coming, and they're going to be very good. We then have, of course, a couple other lads. Tom Maloney is a American that I think was also English, apparently not. He's the other midfielder that is superb. Different type of midfielder to what we have at the football club. This is a guy that has got long shots, first touch, flair. He's a guy that can pick a pass with a 13 vision, 12 technique. He's also got not bad free kick taking at 11, which is nice. And physically is a little bit slow, but has the potential to develop. In 6 months' time he's here. He's one of two guys that is going to play in the middle of the park. The long-term plan is to play Maloney at centre mid, Jeppe on the other side of centre mid, and then move Stefan to right back. And with, Jeppe running the show as a ball-winning midfielder / box-to-box, just keeping it and running it. And Maloney playing as an advanced playmaker and support, dictating games. We may be poor first 6 months. Come the second half of the 6 months, we've got a guy that can pick a lock. And I think Tom Maloney is going to be a guy that is going to be fantastic for the foreseeable future of this save. We then got Taylor Prado, who is joining in 2 years' time. Another one of these Americans that looks good. For me, he's a pressing forward on attack every day. I actually think in 2 years' time, this guy will come in and start up front as a pressing forward alongside Jay Hess, who's the last guy I'm going to show you. I just think physically, look at him. In 2 years' time, those physicals could all be 15. Mentally as well, a lot of green, a lot of things around 7+. He's going to be really good as well. The only thing that worries me is he lacks the ability to finish, but that's probably the thing we work on him in the most when he comes in. Give him some long shots, give him some finishing, help him with that little bit of composure, help him with that little bit of passing ability because he lacks vision. But this guy's literally the guy you put up front to lead the press. Let him run, let him buzz, the Energizer Bunny, if you will, and Taylor Prado could be the guy. Lucky last person is Jay Hess, and he actually joins this year. Turns 18 in August. Will come in, unfortunately, about 4 or 5 games into the league because it is the World Cup year. But have a look at him. Promising striker. Looks fantastic. Had him here on loan. Was 3.5 star, or on trial, sorry. 14 finishing. Those physicals. He's a physical monster. Just let him run. He's also got well-rounded mentals, but they're not great. He's got good work rate and good teamwork, but he's also got a lot of 10s and 9s. They're only going to improve. I reckon Jay Hess is the GOAT. Oh my God, JS, who renamed him, also realised that his birthday is also in August. Wish it was the 18th, JS. They're very close. So JS, who nicknamed him, Jay Hess is unreal. I love that. But yeah, there we are. Look at him. Jay Hess, fantastic, is coming in as well. That is the business. You know, guys like Anarat, who's also a Thailandese boy. I say Thailandese because it just rolls off the tongue. Thai, obviously. It's a Thai lad. We've also got a Thai lad here as well. Fantastic as well. Andreas Danielson may join this season. If he does, we'll probably be flung out on the right-hand side at right wing, where he's not quick or anything. Look how many nines he has, and look at the mentals. This is a guy that, you know, in 2 years' time or a year's time when the Freitas comes, this guy could actually develop into something. Expect this guy to play right wing and then shift into being a backup midfielder, because I think he could be really good. He only wants to be a breakthrough prospect. In terms of that, that's really everyone that really is going to make a difference. A couple of the other guys are just here to just, you know, be well-rounded. Like this guy here's got good finishing composure. Expect to see him play under 19s football, but get sniffs of first-team football because he's actually got good stats. But yeah, look, this is what we're doing. Anyone on a free that has got 5-star potential is coming in to play 19s. Anyone that's got 3-star or better that is, you know, under the age of 18 that can come in is coming in because guess what? They probably can feature in the first team. When your first team looks like this, it makes it very easy to play people in and around, which is great. Lastly, but more importantly, American amateur contracts. If you don't know what it is, type in the New York Red Bull Academy, right? New York Red Bull Academy. There we are, right? And just go through here and just literally click around and go to general and just go and grab as many, like that's how we found the Freitas, right? As many key players as you can. It is unbelievably good. In a second, YouTube, what we will have is more transfer business and more transfer goodness. Hopefully a Maximilian Wagner. And what I will have is probably a named first 11. And then we will probably end this episode with recapping how we went in the first month or so in the second Bundesliga. Back in the post-com, back to the 29th of July. Let's just talk a little bit about the transfers. You would have seen the lads that have come in. I am going to go straight to the transfer history though, so you guys can see exactly who came in. You guys know all about this. You know, you're probably thinking Jeppe Hansen, absolutely fantastic player to bring in, 100%. You would not have seen the likes of Azevedo, Gareth, and Paul Nog in that little bit, or Henrik Christiansen that did start. You know, you may not even see Frodo, who I've just signed because his name's Frody, so Frodo. I'm going to nickname him the Frodo. And Ennis, who's not great, but he can run. So, yeah, great. And Andreas Danielson, who started out wide, who's actually, by the way, because they're Norwegian, we've got to come on to this. The age and when they can join us, it makes things a little bit interesting. But Andreas Danielson is someone that's really well-rounded, I think can develop into something. So, I don't want to start him out wide. The thing is, we have a winger joining in a year's time who's going to be world-class. So, and I'm pretty sure I mentioned him on that 1st of July episode. Andreas Danielson is definitely one to watch out for. I don't want him starting. You know, Enrique is going to play here for 6 months, and then we're going to move him out into the squad rotation system because that's probably where he belongs, Enrique. But yeah, but that's obviously because we've got Tom Maloney, who I'm pretty sure I showed you on the 1st of July as well, coming in 6 months. And we're going to talk about why they're coming in a little later, you know, the issues that does rise us and what it's going to mean for future down the line in the save. Over's just a young striker that has a little bit about him. Paul is one of 2 guys we picked up from Stuttgart on loan. Our squad's a little bit weak, and you've got to remember, we've got Stefan coming in at centre-back in 6 months' time. Our squad is so much better in 6 months. So to have these guys come in as squad players to help, you know, fill out the squad a little bit, maybe do something is not bad. Plus, Nyong is having his contract expire in a year's time, and if he develops, he's got enough about him for him to be decent. Lucky last, you know, of the loans, we had Azevedo, who did score in that game. He's a promising fullback, and more importantly, I found it that hard to find a young winger that could actually join me. He's not the quickest, but he can cross the ball, and he can play there naturally, or like very well accomplished out there on the left. He can play left back if we have injuries. So yeah, Alexandra Azevedo is going to play there for the year, maybe a year and a half. We'll loan him back. But another one of those guys that, you know, maybe we could pick up as well in the future. And then we're going to talk about, you know, Gareth. So finding a striker was difficult. Jay Hess does not join for another few weeks. He joins on the 18th of August, and that would be his partner. I went with Gareth in the end because a lot of the 16-year-old strikers we found can't join until they turn 18. We're going to talk about that one in a second. But also they're not of the level. Now, Gareth ain't good. You're thinking 3-star, 5-star. We don't have anyone in the squad of quality. They're not being compared to Wagner anymore. They're being compared to Lorenz Nofrel. They're all regional division players. So that's my first thing, that the save may be a lot harder than before. Players like this are only being compared to our squad, which is young and not of the level of the division we're in. So for the foreseeable future, a lot of guys like this want to come in and be like important players, first team regulars. Like Lorenz Nofrel is not a good footballer. He's not bad to have around on the bench. We go and click on him here quickly. And he's been complaining that he wants an important player contract. He's a regional division player at best. He's not good enough to even be in this division. That is the issue. Now, I'm happy to have him because he's got 5-star potential. He may develop into maybe a good Bundesliga 3 player, which then is usable in Bundesliga 2 because I'm a big believer in team cohesion, outweighs probably the quality of the squad sometimes to keep you up. But yeah, that's one issue, is that the squad and the players we're bringing in and scouting aren't being compared to the level of the league. It's being compared to the level of the squad. It does mean that if we can somehow consistently stay in the same division for a few years and have these guys develop, it will make our scouting a little bit more narrowed down to the division because a lot of these guys are going to Bundesliga 2 players. And then, alright, so our 3.5-star players are all like decent Bundesliga 2. So a 4-star youth prospect is unbelievably good to be in. So yeah, that's our first problem. And you got people like the Filipino who are just bringing in, right, as a 3-star player, wanted a first-team contract. I've got 3 first-team right-backs now. I've got Mark Williams, I've got him, and I've got, obviously, Stefan, who's now playing right-back. We got people like De Freitas is like 4-star when he came in. He's probably not a winger that is 4-star Bundesliga 2, but he's probably a decent Bundesliga 3, like third Liga winger. That is the issue. Second issue is, and the big one is, some nations don't allow players to join to the 18. Now, this will become a little bit easier in time because we know that Scandinavian nations allow them to join, I think when they're 16. So a lot of these 15-year-olds are joining, on the first 2023. No one of note. There was people of note you would know about the 15-year-olds. There's no one really, Taylor Prado doesn't join for 2 years, and I think he could be our best pressing forward. So, these guys don't join. And that is the issue, is we're finding talent that is good, but because we're only a season in, we've just completed a season, every good regen we want to go after to bring in ain't going to turn 18 for a couple of years. So this season here and next season, it gets a little easier because we've got a few 17-year-olds that turn 18 that will join. We're going to be very lacking in squad depth and lacking in squad quality because all these regens, all of them are going to take time to get here. Once they're all here, we got the headache selection of who do we play, who don't we play, who do we bench. Great, that's a great spot to be in. And whoever doesn't play goes and plays in the under-19s and just develop and go win the league because I want the best under-19s in Germany. But that is the other issue in the save, is that for the next few seasons, I reckon until at least the 4th season, so after 3 seasons have been completed, we're going to find it hard to find youth prospects that come through the youth academy that can join me straight away. A. B. It may take, a little bit of time to find these 17, 18-year-olds that are good enough to bring in. And lastly, more importantly, at the second Bundesliga level, which makes it so difficult, if you go to scouting, we don't really have the money to scout or have a recruitment package. So at the minute, my scouting is very much going through every youth intake in leagues and looking at who can we bring in and who can't we. And at the minute, anyone in Norway that is 15 and $0 to pick up, I'm picking up if they have 5-star potential. Only issue with that is they're being compared to our current squad, so 5-star potential, probably a decent third Liga player. So it's going to chew up a lot of the squad, but if 1 or 2 of them grows into a Bundesliga 2 player, they can feature in a few years' time. What it means is, in short, we can't sign anyone until they turn 18. All the regions in the save at the minute, because we're only a second season, are 15, 16. So there's a 2-year period at least that we've got to wait to get all our best regions in. Secondly, right, is a lot of these regens want bigger contracts because our squad is so low compared to the league we're in that all these regions think they're good enough to come in and play first team. So squad player, fringe players, they're going to get upset they sit in the 19s too long. It's going to create a lot of dynamical problems as well down the line. But I feel like in a youth challenge, you just got to get these players in. You've got to get them to the 3 years because then if they get upset after that, you can cut them out, but they become homegrown. So it's going to be a really interesting time just to see how we manage that. And it makes this save very, very, very interesting because I've never been in just a solely youth challenge save. I've always signed a lot of youth in my saves, but I've always been able to go get a 26-year-old, 28-year-old, 31-year-old with experience. Yeah, sure, bring in, right? Can't do that here. We've got to bring in all these 15, 16, 17-year-olds. And who knows, maybe we get back-to-back promotions, which I highly doubt. If we get back-to-back promotions, I don't even know what I'll do. Comment section, let me know. What should I do to celebrate when we got back-to-back promotions with regional division players? But in the likelihood of that happens, all the guys we've signed here are probably not good enough to play Bundesliga football. Plus, the riches in the Bundesliga allow me then to scout the way I want to scout, which is literally go through every under 23 international squad, and anyone from 18 or lower is probably a good enough regen to bring in because they're playing under 23 football, not playing 19s. And that's the way I want to scout. I want to scout any international team that has anyone 18 or younger and look to bring them in, and anyone in the under 23s 18 or younger. Saves me clicking through and whatever, and it gives me a package where I can do my 36-17 method of scouting, which I will make a YouTube video about when that time comes later in the save. But at the minute, the grind is here. The grind is we need to pick people, to sign people, and then realise they can't join for a while. So to stay up this season, I don't even know if we're going to be capable. To go on a cup run, definitely not capable, but you never know. That draw doesn't come out to the 18th of August, so there we are. And lastly, but more importantly, I think that some of the players are going to be good enough here. A lot of the players that we've signed, and there's a lot of players we're signing, aren't going to be good enough to feature in the save, but we may as well make them homegrown because they may slightly develop into usable players. Let me know how long you think it's going to take for me to get out of the Bundesliga too. I'm actually really hoping that we stay up by the skin of our teeth this season, and then we somehow manage to stay in the league for the next 3-4 years to allow all these younger players to develop. Because if we went up too quickly, we're going to get found out and lose our job eventually. If we can just stay in this division, grow these players, grow these regens, get a couple youth intakes through with players that are worthy of actually developing, because last season wasn't, a lot of good 5-star, but no one crazily good. Then yeah, we'll be okay. Last note on youth intake, by the way. Players under 16 can't play in Germany. So all our youth intake players, we have to wait until their birthday to play. That's really annoying as well, because that doesn't help the squad at all. Anyhow, from Damon and everybody else here, weird time here at 1860 Munich, but we've beaten Cologne, so we remain optimistic. Till next time, I'll see you for a recap of the end of the window, all the players that joined, as we lead up to the World Cup, the 2022 World Cup. From here, and everybody at 1860 Munich, give it a like, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and until next time, catch ya.